Hi everyone, Dean here again from JuiceRx, and thank you for joining me. This is our second video, and we're filming it outside in beautiful nature, so please do excuse any background noise. It's a very non-sterile environment, which I'm very thankful for, of course. But in my first video, I shared a little bit about my personal health journey and the amazing health transformation that I underwent about 5 years ago, and ever since, of course. 10 years ago, I was diagnosed with ulcerative colitis and healed myself completely and naturally without medication, and I feel amazing. I feel like I've achieved optimum health, and so today I want to share with you a little bit about what I did. Of course, juicing, as you may know, is a cornerstone of my diet, as I do have a juice company. I created it because I am so passionate about juicing and all the wonderful benefits I found. I basically wanted to share with the world, so that was my inspiration for starting JuiceRx. But that's just one piece, right, of the puzzle, because of course we can't just live simply on juices. I know some of you may think I live solely on juices. Little surprise, I don't. There are more things that I do, and that's a little bit of kind of what I want to share with you today. So that one thing is raw food. So besides juicing, that's sort of one of the other key components I found was instrumental in helping me heal and stay healthy as well. So a little bit about that. So what is raw food? I get the question all the time. Is it some special diet? Is it some special food that is difficult to prepare and difficult to sustain? Not at all, luckily. Raw food is super easy to prepare, and it basically pertains to anything that is not heated above 118 degrees. So some raw food purists will say 115, some will say 118, but it basically means food that is in its completely natural state, unprocessed, as close to nature as possible. So that's the definition. It includes fresh fruits and vegetables, sprouted grains, seeds, nuts, seaweed, basically anything that is just straight from nature that you don't cook. So anything on the outside of the outside perimeter of the supermarket, of course, right? That's what you always is always encouraged by nutritionists, is to stay in that outer perimeter. Fruits, vegetables, things that aren't prepackaged, things that are fresh, things that will go rancid or bad within a short period of time. That's when you know it's real. When it's alive, it has its enzymes intact, and it's nutritious for your body. So what are the benefits of eating raw? I get this question all the time, especially as it relates to my health transformation. So the benefits are vast. One of them is, when you expose certain foods to heat, certain vitamins, like the water-soluble ones like vitamin C, all the B vitamins, are destroyed in the cooking process. So when you're eating raw, you guarantee yourself all those nutrients that otherwise would have been destroyed by heat. So that's a big benefit. Another one is, and this is especially important as it relates to raw food, is that because there's typically raw food has quite a bit of fat, albeit good fats, but of course, as some of you may know, when you expose certain fats to heat, they become rancid, and they in fact become dangerous. And you may have heard the term trans fats as well. Some oils, certain oils, turn to trans fats when exposed to heat. So especially the delicate ones, like the unsaturated fats, like the omega-3s and the omega-6s. So none of that, of course, is a concern with raw food, because you're getting all these oils, right, from all the nuts and the seeds, all in their virgin, unprocessed state. So that's a huge benefit. And I know as it relates to my healing transformation, I was consuming these fats that were, previously I was eating these fats that were rancid, like olive oil, right? I was cooking with olive oil thinking it was a good fat, and it is a good fat in its raw state, but as soon as you expose it to heat, that's when it becomes dangerous. It becomes carcinogenic, in fact. So that was destroying my gut as well. So as soon as I started transitioning to eating more raw foods with these raw fats, definitely it helped quell some of the inflammation, which is a big thing. One of the other big benefits of eating raw is that raw food is a lot more alkaline, right? So you may have heard of the whole acid-alkaline balance, that certain raw cooked foods become a lot more acidic, whereas many raw foods are a lot more alkaline. So there's, of course, a complex scientific explanation behind the idea of the acid-alkaline balance in the body, but the fact of the matter is that most of us have too much acidity, or most of us are too acidic. So we need to balance that, or better balance that, with a lot more raw food that's a lot more alkaline in nature. I often get the question too, as it relates to citrus. People say, well, isn't citrus acidic? Well, yes it is, but it's not acidic in the body once it's metabolized. So if you eat an orange or a lemon, it's acidic tasting and it's acidic on the palate, but the metabolic end result of eating any kind of citrus fruit is alkaline. So in fact, lemon is one of the most alkalizing foods you can possibly put in your body, but it's acidic. It tastes acidic. So don't let the two confuse you. So that's a big thing. So another benefit of eating raw that can't be overemphasized enough is enzymes. So you may have heard of the benefits of enzymes. I have a good friend who does enzyme therapy and treats all kinds of inflammatory conditions and digestive disorders using enzyme therapy. So this is like a big area and another huge benefit of eating raw, right? So I want to differentiate between a couple different types of enzymes and the way people talk about them. So the body, of course, produces its own enzymes, its own digestive enzymes, as well as systemic enzymes that help with all kinds of bodily functions as well as digestion. But there's another component here, and that's the enzymes that are delivered with food. So those are the enzymes that come with food are what is destroyed with cooking. So that makes your body have to work overtime to digest the food, right? So with, like, for example, not certain, but all fruits and vegetables, let's take like watermelon, for example. So watermelon's super rich with digestive enzymes, or the enzymes that come with it. So the enzymes that are delivered with watermelon, when you eat that, work in tandem with your body's digestive enzymes to digest the food. So making it a lot easier on your body, making the nutrients a lot better assimilated. So that's the big reason to eat raw food that I can't overemphasize enough. Another reason to eat raw is allergens, of course. So raw food is typically devoid of most of the common allergens that are found in most of the things that we eat today. Like, of course, like wheat, gluten, soy, dairy, all these things that are big triggers for people are typically not found in raw food, which is super simple because you can enjoy most raw food, without any worries. The biggest worry, of course, being if you're allergic to tree nuts in any way, tree nuts being cashews, pecans, walnuts, macadamia nuts, Brazil nuts, hazelnuts. Unless you have any allergies to those, then you should be fine. And you know, one of the other benefits that really kind of come to mind too with raw food, that I sort of consider sort of inherent in raw food, is the fact that it's not processed. So you can rest assured that most raw food, if not all raw food, is not processed in any way, right? And this is really important because most people today have way too much processed food that makes the body, leads to too acidic of an environment in our body, and that just leads to poor health and inflammation and disease, of course. So the idea of eating raw is eating things that are completely like I said, as close to their natural state as possible, that's not processed, just as close to Mother Nature as possible, and getting creative with it. That's the exciting part about raw food. So it's not just eating like a bowl of watermelon or having a smoothie or having a salad. It's kind of, although those are very good things and you can get super creative with that stuff, it's kind of putting together these different ingredients in even more creative ways and more exciting ways. In ways also, incorporating a whole array of different ingredients that sort of will help sort of fill any kind of nutritional voids that you may have. I've shared with you a little bit about what raw food is and what the benefits are. And I just want to let you know and kind of emphasize the fact that eating raw food is not a perfect diet, right? I don't think there is such thing as a perfect diet. When I was on my healing journey, I incorporated a lot of raw foods. In fact, about 80+% of my diet was raw food. So I was still eating a little bit of cooked food, because I think there's definitely value in eating cooked food, but there's tremendous value in incorporating a large part of your diet as raw food. So definitely some things you want to look out for when you are sort of transitioning to more of a raw diet. One of the big things that comes to mind for me is making sure you don't eat too much of your diet as in nuts, right? Because a lot of different raw foods incorporate a lot of nuts into them. And while I believe, of course, it's well established that there's a tremendous number of benefits in eating nuts, you don't want to eat too much of it, of course. One being because nuts are really high in calories. So if you're trying to watch your caloric intake or watch your weight, that's definitely something you want to be mindful of. Another thing is cashews also kind of come to mind too. So cashews are a really fantastic nut. It's really a godsend in the raw food world because it makes foods really creamy and you can do a lot of cool things with it. But there's also, you go like to buy raw foods sometimes at some of these like little places, and you'll find that most of their dishes are made with quite a bit of cashews. And so like I said, while cashews are filled with all kinds of good stuff, copper and magnesium and protein and all kinds of things your body needs, you don't want to eat too much of it, right? Because too much of any one thing is not good, right? It's all about balance. So those are some of the things I kind of look out for when it comes to raw food, just some quick things off the top of my head. But again, it all comes back to balance, right? So like I said, when I was going through my healing transformation, raw foods was a large part of my diet, but it wasn't all of it. So incorporating more raw food into your diet doesn't have to be complicated or difficult. I would bet you're probably already doing quite a bit of raw food, right? If you have an orange or you have an apple, you're eating raw. If you have some raw celery, or you have like some nuts or seeds or some trail mix, you're probably already eating raw. So it's just about adding a little bit more. And you gotta do what works for you. So what worked for me and how I was able to add more raw food to my diet was smoothies. Smoothies were a super big addition in my healing transformation. Besides juicing, of course, I was adding a lot of smoothies, and I was eating a ton of salads, which are super easy to throw together. Smoothies, same thing. But it's all about what works for you, because you don't want to overcomplicate it, and I think sometimes people have a tendency to overcomplicate this stuff. So incorporating raw into your diet is really easy, it's really simple, and I really truly believe wholeheartedly in the benefits of adding raw to your diet, that I would love for you to experience the benefits yourself. So you don't need any prior knowledge, any prior skills. I've put together for you a Kickstarter raw food plan that you can prepare yourself at home. All you need is a knife, a blender, and just a little bit of time. It's super simple. You can check it out right on our blog page on our website. We've got we should have a PDF on there that you can download. Super simple. Would love for you to try it out and share with us the benefits. So feel free to leave comments, suggestions, questions. and feel free to share your commitment to trying this plan out, and love to hear your experience, how you feel, and also by posting on there, you're sharing with the community, and maybe we can even hold you accountable too when you kind of share it with everybody. So it's super, super exciting. Love to hear from you. Love to hear how it goes for you. So yeah, very excited about this whole raw food movement. So this has been basically the topic of our second video here. In our next video, I'm also very, very excited about. I'm going to delve a little bit into one of the other components that I also use to heal naturally, and those are superfoods. So superfoods is a huge buzzword today, and there's a whole bunch of information on it and different types of foods, but I'm going to share with you my personal favorites and the things that really kind of took my health to the next level, and the ones that I'm really excited about, and I'll share with you in the third video. Until then, thanks for joining us. Where'd I get lost there? That sounds awkward. Let's try that one more time. This little mosquito was in front of my... Sorry. All right, I felt a raindrop. Oh my God, it went right in my freaking face. Oh, jeez. All right, here we go.